the first thing you're going to do is open up Photoshop Elements and click Edit. Once it's open, it'll look like this. Then you can find the word File along the top and drop it down to New, Blank File. You want to have a small file because what you're going to create, your animation, will take a lot of memory. So you want the width to be 3 inches. You want to switch pixels to inches. And you want the height to be 3 inches because you're creating a square. And the resolution is 72 pixels per inch. Then you say OK. Once you do that, you know that the size will be feasible and you'll be able to save it at the end. Okay? Then you're going to go find the picture you want to animate. So let's say I'm going to look for a paint drip. And I'm going to click Images. And I'm going to find my image that I want to animate. And I want something that doesn't have sort of a watermark in the back. Then you're going to copy the picture, copy the image, but don't copy it from the full site because the smaller size is fine. So I'm going to say Copy Image, and I'm going to go back to Photoshop, and I'm going to say Edit Paste. Okay. Now, the image was a lot bigger than my square, so I'm just dragging it down slowly until it fits my square. Okay, so let's say I started like this. Start like that. And then I'm going to say OK. So that's my image in my first box. My second image, I'm going to duplicate the layer and say OK. And I'm going to go to the second one, and I'm going to move it down a little bit. And then I'm going to duplicate the layer and say OK. And for my third one, I'm going to move it down a little bit more. And then I'm going to duplicate the layer. And you always have to be clicked on the layer that you're using. And I'm going to move it down some more. And then I'm going to do one more, and I'm going to duplicate the layer and say OK. This is just a really simple example of what you can do. And for this one, maybe I'll do this, and I'll stretch it out like this. So maybe it's all those colors. Okay? All right. So now I'm done with my frames, and I'm going to make it so you can see each frame. So for each frame, I clicked the little eye. Whoops, I clicked back on the website. So now I can go through and just make sure that I see each of my frames, because you want to be able to see them to animate it. Okay? Then, once I'm done with my frames, you'll say File, Save for Web, and you're going to click the box that says Animate here. And the frame delay is how fast you want it to go. So do you want it to go 0.2, 0.1, 0.5? How do you want it to go? Do you want it to loop or not loop? I do want mine to loop. Okay. Once you're happy with it, you click Preview In, and you go to Other, and you look on your desktop and you find a browser. I'm going to go with Google Chrome, and I'll say Open. And then it'll show me what I have. So I have the paint drips going up. So what I want actually is I wanted them to go down, so I'll have to reverse it. So I'll say Cancel, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it go back through. So I'm going to duplicate the layer and say OK. Put that one there. Did I switch those? I did. I did, yep. And then I'm going to duplicate the layer and go OK. And move it around however I want to animate it. Okay, so I'm going to have this on the bottom as well. So I'm going to have this, and I'm basically going to do it backwards as well because I want it to go longer. Basically, you fool around and figure out however you want it to go, and it's going to be different for each person. Okay, I think I need another one of these. Duplicate layer. Okay. You can also change the colors of the layers by going up to Enhance. I'll put this one in there. Okay, so now I'm happy with this. When I'm done, I'm going to say File, Save for Web, and then I want to check it out again. If you've already, click Animate, if you've already previewed it once, you can just automatically preview it. Okay, and if you're happy with it, then you just say OK, and you save it in your class folder. So you might go to, for example, you might go to Red, Animated GIFs, call it your name, and save it. So this is my second one. So I'll call this Amy Cucuzzi 2. And say Save. And that's it. That's how you're going to create a simple animated GIF in Photoshop.